Hey guys, welcome back to Almost Inevitable Design. My name is still PK and I make WordPress tutorials for website developers and designers. Alright, so this is lesson 7 and we're going to be talking about Flex. Now, we're going to go over just the important parts because this is practical CSS. And I'm just only going to be talking about stuff like justify content and align items, pretty much. But I'm going to leave links down below about a lot of the intricacies of using Flex. There are some very great resources out there that show you how Flex is used, how Flex can be used, and got to have a look, right? Now, the page builders that we use on WordPress, they all have Flex. They all use Flex. Flex is great because not only does it allow a lot of really great layout options, it also works pretty much on Internet Explorer 11. Now, I know nobody uses Internet Explorer 11 anymore. It's 2023. Even if you're watching this from the future where you're not in 2023, Flex is not going away unless you're in like, I don't know how long in the future you have to be for Flex to be depreciated. So this is pretty evergreen in terms of how, the CSS property works. Anyways, so all the page builders use Flex. Some use Grid as well. And we'll talk about that in the next lesson, but for now, when we're using Flex, this will help you. 3 things will pretty much help you be able to align things or put things next to each other or understand how to fix things. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start the timer now. There we go. All right, so here I have this thing, and you can see I actually don't need any of the other stuff, but they're just there. You can see I have Flex container, and in there I have Flex item, and that's what they are. Now you can't see what the Flex items, where the Flex items are, and we are going, and that's what this is. We are going to add border box. Now, border boxes are technically different from outlines. Okay, so in order to not affect any layouts, we're going to use outlines. Okay, outline 1 pixel solid red. Okay, now we can see the boxes, and now we can start our Flex stuff. Okay, so Flex container. Let's add, by the way, I added maximum width to be 800, just so you can see how things work. So we're going to start with display Flex, okay? And there we go. Now, you can see that we have all 5 Flex items, right? All 5 Flex items here. But the max width is 40 rem. And we have 12 rem as each Flex item's width, but they're scrunched up because they are told to sit next to each other no matter what. So if you just Flex as the only rule of laying things out, then you will run into problems like this, because if the content is larger, even though it's larger, it might not fit in there, and then you'll have text, sticking out of the boxes and stuff. Okay. All right. So what do you need to do? Let's just assume these are like, for example, icons or like icon blurbs, where you have like little icon there, and then you have a feature or like something like that, service. You have features, lists, and that kind of stuff, and you want them to be able to go into 2 lines. All right. So what you do is you're going to add Flex wrap and give it wrap. Okay. The other is no wrap. Okay, so now we have that. Now you can see each flex item, because they're technically supposed to be 12 rem, which is 240 pixels, only 3 will fit in that 800 or 40 rem width. Okay? All right. So now we need to figure out how to lay them out. Okay, now as you can see, they're all left aligned, right? I'm going to turn on this flex thing. I use Firefox, as you can see and know. I use Firefox, so if you click on that, you can actually turn on how the flex is working. So you can see that it's all left aligned at the moment, right? The other two down here won't fit up there. That's why it's wrapping and it's pushed down to the next line. Okay. Let's give it some, there's two things we can do with this. Two things we can do with this. One, we can give it a gap, okay? And that will give us like column gutters. Or two, we can arrange them with justified content, all right? Now, justified content, line items are things that work in the parent Flexbox, not the separate items themselves. So we're going to do that, okay? Now, you can try justify content in terms of something like having them spread evenly all the way across. For example, that would be space between. And you get something like that, all right? Now, this line, you see, has spaces in between, okay? And these two, they're on the next line, so that's all they have, so that's why the two are spread all the way across. Okay, sort of, right? Okay. We also have space around. And again, you can check the what is it? The links to the references down below, and you'll be able to see all the options. I think I'm going to take out, does it not have a, all right. Oh, yeah, okay, that has padding there. All right, I'm not going to use padding because I don't want to keep scrolling. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. All right, so you can see that space around is whenever you have a horizontal plane and you have the certain number of flex items in there, it tries to give everything equal spacing. And that's why you see this space and these two spaces together, and that becomes the 3 spaces. So the leftover space is divided up by the number of the items in there. And here you have the 2, and then, you know, they're sort of centered, sort of like there, right? And you get this W shape. So that's what space around is. Now, if we wanted to try to get these items to get a little better W shape, we can actually center them. Now, you can't use the British spelling of center that's spelled with a TRE, the centre, like meter with mitre. You can't use that because CSS is written in America, I guess, and even the word color, you can't use CLOUR, so you gotta do that. All right, so if it's centered, then you get that, right? Which is fine, right? And there we go. So that's fine, right? Now, can we make this better? Well, if we intended to scrunch them all together with no gutters, then we can do that. That's fine, right? But let's give them some gutters, okay? So the easiest way to add a gutter is gap, and we'll give them 1 rem, and we get something like this. Looks like that. Much better, right? Now we actually have a layout. All right. So that's what gap does, which is very useful. It's very useful. You can see, you can do that. Yep. Cool. If we give it more gap, here's something that will happen. It will push it down. All right. So the gap doesn't eat into the items. It actually widens the gap in between the items, so that's what you get. All right. So if the items width plus the gap width is too much, it starts wrapping to the next line. All right, cool. That's all good. I think that's pretty useful, right? And let's see what else we can do. Right. Now, let's try align items, okay? Pause this for a second so I can get this ready. Okay, so I added height, right? Now, if we add height, we get something that looks like, oh, I was gonna save that. We get something that looks like this, all right? Now you can see these items, these blank spaces are not affected by flex. And that's what we get. Now we get an even spread vertically. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some align items, and we're gonna try to get them to go up. All right, now to go up, it would be flex start. All right, anytime it's up or left, it is start. Not especially, if you're in left to right languages. Right to left languages, I assume, are opposite. Anyways, flex start. So if it won't make a difference if you see that, right? But if we put in flex end, then you will see that it goes down, right? All the items go down. Flex end is down, right? Oh yeah, by the way, we can also do this flex start for horizontal, right? So you can see that, right? All right, gonna go with center again. All right, and we can get align items to be center as well. And you get that. You can see that it's all centered, right? Cool. Let's see, what else can we do? As for children, flex grow. I don't think I have 3 minutes. I'm not going to do flex grow or shrink. You can use ratios in terms of flex for the children. You can have flex sizes as like 1, 1, 1, 2. So these guys, if they're 1, 1, 2, then this will always be twice the width of these guys. That's flex, shrink, and grow. Also, what else we got? Flex direction is another thing that is pretty interesting. Flex direction. Now, normally these guys are in row, but right now that's column, okay? Now, row is left to right, column is top to bottom. So you can see, you don't see much, right? But if you go into row, that's what you get. You can actually get row reverse if you wanted to. You can't see them, but you can do row reverse. And then that means that they'll be switched. So sometimes if you have a layout that's been rendered by a plugin and you need to swap the order, you can sometimes do that. Now, another interesting thing is that you can give these guys actual order. All right, now I'll make them different. Okay, so this guy, background color red, sure, whatever, red cabbage, no, Rebecca purple. Okay. And this guy, all right, background color blue. All right, so these are overriding the flex item because this is inline. Inline is stronger than class, okay? All right, so here we have 2 different guys. Now, we can actually give them what is called order, all right? So let's give this order 2, 3, and it's pushed back because that is the highest number. All right, so we can give this, for example, order 2, 1. I'll give it 1. And flex item by default will have order 2. There we go. So that's 1. These are 2, and that's 3. Okay. So you can actually change them around with order, which is really useful when you're making things in the footer. Like if you have columns in the footer, sometimes they don't stack directly from left to right. That might not be the best way to do it, especially if you have like a logo in the center. Then it's better that it stacks to the top. Sometimes you might want to do that. So then you give that order of 2 inside the media query, which means when it starts stacking at a certain size, certain screen width, then you can actually change the order there. All right. So those are all pretty good, pretty useful applications of Flex. Like I said, this is the most important parts, but it is only a little bit of what Flex does and can do and how you can utilize it to change your layouts or put together really great layouts. So check out the links down below. I also have a lot of tutorials on my website using Flex, so you can actually check that out as well. Look around my website. If you want to learn CSS in more detail, check out the courses that I have. If you want to learn Sass, check out that course. And join our Discord channel. It's a very safe space for everyone. You can ask any question you want, and somebody, or at least I, will answer as soon as possible, and we can chat. Okay, so see you around, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.